Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the patch 7.5 patch notes. Excuse for the weird angle slash recording setup. I am currently at FanFest, and at this point we are just doing what we can to get the usual content out. It's not even 6 in the morning yet, and here I am doing this, heading to the opening keynote after, but we do have the preliminary patch notes for patch 7.5 first, so while I don't really expect too much out of the preliminaries, that's what we do, So hopefully the recording goes a-okay the entire time. So this is obviously only going to be patch 7.5 part 1. There are a lot of things that will not be in here. For the majority, it should be MSQ, Trial, EX Trial, Dungeon, Ocean Fishing Route, a lot of the basics. Beastmaster is going to come later, Occult Crescent will come later, Cosmic Exploration will come later. The Ultimate will come later, and we obviously don't even know about the Gold Saucer, whatever they're doing for that. They're supposed to talk about that at FanFest, so we don't know if that's on patch or if that's going to be something that's coming a little bit later as well, but personally I'd be willing to bet later is the answer. This is our final major patch until the expansion, so of course they're going to string things along a little bit. So of course we have new main scenario quests. This is patch 7.5 part 1. We're not going to get part 2 until 0.56, which is not even going to be till, basically autumn. I think it was September is what they said. So it's going to be quite some time before we get that. Not much really to say here. Chronicles of a New Era quest, Echoes of Vana'diel. This is the finale of Echoes of Vana'diel with Shantoto looking very, very ominously at us. Looking forward to seeing what they do for the finale for that. We also have the Winged Spirit Cometh. This should be for completing, as it does say, all of the EX Trial wings. You can see Ruin, Resolve, Eternity, Knighthood, Death, Mist, and Nihility. So those are going to be all of our wings, and then I'll get you the bonus one. New Game Plus chapters. The requirement for certain quests to be changed from any Disciple of War Magic to any Disciple of War Magic, excluding limited jobs. This is basically getting rid of limited jobs abilities to do certain quests that are not that beneficial to limited jobs. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do this, only because I think the idea is to clear up that limited jobs aren't meant to be used with these things. Like, they're not beneficial for the limited job. But people might want to do them on the limited job because why not, right? So I think they're just taking this opportunity to make sure, like, Allied Society quests can't be done on Beastmaster or Blue Mage or things like that. So it's not really that big a deal, but it's a little bit of a strange move all the same. Adjustments have been made to the prerequisite for the quest listed below. The prerequisite quest, Go West Craftsman, has been changed to Inscrutable Tastes. For the side quest, The Seaweed is Always Greener. The prerequisite quest is now None Forgotten, None Forsaken. Has changed to Inscrutable Tastes. I wonder what the point of this is. It just seems to be like a really old quest that's being streamlined in some capacity, if I'm understanding this correctly. Some other quests have received minor adjustments. Ahead of the release of the new custom deliveries in 7.51, of course, minor adjustments to the featured NPC and text have been made in the following quests: Mulch Ado About Nothing and Culinary Import. Unfortunately, I'm not good with quest names, so I couldn't tell you much about those quests. When speaking with Literalona and Mordona, What Are Tomes of Regional Folklore is now available as a dialogue option after selecting Dealings with the House of Splendors. Yeah, probably a good idea to have tutorials and things explaining things in case anyone goes there for the first time and has no idea. Rewards for treasure maps are being adjusted. They do this every patch, no surprise. And the rewards inside of the Dawn Trail map areas have also been adjusted. There's going to be new stuff, obviously. Grand and free companies, it's of course just subaquatic voyages, just the rich get richer, that whole thing. Housing, this is the increased furnishing limit. They went over this in great detail during a live letter, so we really don't have to do it now. But basically, they are increasing the amount of indoor furnishings by 50%, and I think they were doubling. No, they're increasing these. Yeah, I think it's oh, no. It's indoor furnishings are 50%, outdoor furnishings are being doubled. That's what they're doing with this one. Like I said, they went into that detail during the live letter part 1, live letter 91. So not really much to say here, but exciting, of course. And we were told that the whole TARDIS housing thing is going to be whatever the next housing update is. They basically said it's kind of done-ish, but they want to test it. We don't know if we'll get it before 8.0, but we know that it is the next major housing update. Players can now adjust the number of characters displayed in housing areas. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of display things. You can see here that the first 400 furnishings can be displayed on screen at once. So that's specifically for these for this 450 and 600. I don't know if there's any options for that. I don't think it's said. If more than 400 things that are on a different floor will stop being displayed. So yeah, that's the important thing. Basically everything around where you're standing should, in theory, all be visible, unless you put all 400 or 600 things all on the first floor. Players can now adjust the number of characters displayed in housing areas in conjunction with the increase to the limits. The number of light sources able to cast shadows has been lowered to reduce system stress on PS4 only, so don't worry about that if you're not a PS4 player. Dark minimalist style has been added to interior design, speaking to me, of course, you know, just like, oh, just barely any lights, barely any things. Okay, perfect. Furnishings from the contest design, you've got this stage, so you've got this little like backdoor garden stage style thing, and you've got, ooh, that looks really nice. That's like in every like 90s romantic comedy I've ever seen, this one. We didn't have a weird place for it in that house in particular, but it's just meant to be displayed for us. Some new furnishings being displayed, new orchestrion rolls. As an achievement hunter, I got to pay attention to that one now because I'm way behind on orchestrion rolls. The Juno Starlight Celebration roll that was available during the previous Starlight Celebration is now available for exchange anytime. It's gettable with tattered scores. So yeah, it just adds to the list. That was a big request the first year that Juno was around. They didn't do that. They didn't have the Starlight Celebration song playing. And it was a pretty big disappointment, I remember, for quite a few people. And then they added it, and it was a welcome little thing. Is that Purse of Riches? I think that's Purse of Riches. That's the new aquarium fish. That's mean. Purse of Riches, by the way, next available on patch day. So, you know, good luck with that. New seeds for the flower pots, of course. You know, new prizes for MGP, new triple triad cards, NMO, Shantoto, Zero, Euless, and I forget this Hrothgar's name. New opponents, number of cards. Wait a minute. The card number, that King Elmer III card has been changed from 9999. Wait, the card number of the King Elmer III card has been changed from 9999 to 455. Wait, I'm confused. Was the number weird for that? I guess it's been a while. I collected my cards back in Shadowbringers for the Mount. I haven't really done it since, so I'm not recalling super well. Zero added as a character voice for Mahjong. I don't know, I feel like Zero is coming a little more into the fray with this one. I mean, getting their own triple triad card, getting this, you know, I'm just saying. Zero's getting a little bit more forward. Although then again, that doesn't make sense because Matem, on his way out, got his voice. So, just saying. Duty support for Dusk Vigil and Shisui of the Violet Tides. Of course, there's also the Clidium, which, you know, we found it. Following addition adjustments have been made to companions. There are new animations when summoning companions based on their rank, and now you can pet or poke them. There's also new idle animations that have been made for out of combat. They said they're going to be doing a bit more for companions as well on top of this, but this was just something they wanted to get started with. Wondrous Tales has new prizes for gold and silver certificates, and of course they've added a bunch of duties as potential things for that. Whoop-dee-doo. Second chance points are rewarded upon the completion of certain duties. The number of available points displayed is with the duty. Interesting. So it looks like now you can get second chance points by tackling specific duties. This is probably as a means to counter the fact that you don't. A lot of people run these solo, right? A lot of people aren't going into the duty finder with, you know, EX trials, which seems to be where this one is. And thus, they can't really get second chance points. Yeah, you could technically get them in the roulettes, but the amount of second chance points you can earn on average is very low now. So instead, they're giving solo players the ability to earn second chance points. I kind of appreciate that because that's one of the reasons I don't really do Wondrous Tales, because I just solo the entire thing, and thus I never get more second chance points. So I can't re-roll, so I just kind of have to go with the flow. So I might actually go back to doing them a little bit more, depending on where the objectives actually land. That one's on Fiend's Burden. I don't think I want to do that in Wondrous Tales right now. I don't think I really want to do Fiend Extreme for Wondrous Tales during this expansion right now. The following adjustments and additions and adjustments have been made. We are now on Shinryu for the Fox Hollows, and okay. So the Fox Leaves is indeed the Axe Beak. We were wondering where this was in the patch notes. They didn't show it to us, but they did see the icon for it. There's a new Fox Hollows mount. Good. I know what I'm selling day one. Recordable duties have changed. Why do I... Like, why? Why just change Heavyweight M1 and M2 Savage to M2 and M3? I can't get upset about this every time. I just have to accept it. Okay, additions and adjustments to Sightseeing Log. Apparently now, they went over this in the live letter. When you go to a Vista, it'll tell you what emote you need So you don't have to guess. So if it's /lookout, which is most of the time, it'll tell you. And then also for Realm Reborn and Stormblood sightseeing logs, a message is displayed to the emote if the correct weather and time conditions are not fulfilled. And the help button has been added for the sightseeing log window for easy access to details regarding the features. Nice. New hairstyle options. I do have the esthetician now, so I guess I should take a peek. Okay, yep, that's hair. All right. New hairstyle options added to Hrothgar. Yeah, this is specifically for Viera and Hrothgar anyway. It's not going to change over to those, but they've been getting more and more. They've been bringing more and more into the fold for these to make sure they have more options. The following headgear items will now be displayable when worn by Viera. Yeah, they've been gradually expanding this list as well. They did a huge list of added things some time ago, but they've been gradually adding more as well. So here you go, big list. Elemental, looks like a lot of Eureka stuff in here. I see some PvP stuff, some Eureka stuff. Gordian, so there's some raid stuff in here. Baron, so there's some of the rewards. There's just a decent mix of things in here. There's no real rhyme or reason. There's some augmented law in there. They're just adding a whole bunch of stuff. Some tome gear, some raid gear, some cosmetic gear. Some Eureka gear even. So I think a lot of these are the things that'll clip your ears though, get rid of your ears. So it's nothing to be crazy celebratory about, but they are trying to make sure that they actually work. New emotes have been added, or they will clip your ears if you give them the option, I guess is the better way of putting it. New emotes have been added. Okay, yeah, that's the conducting emote, we saw that. The use of all items can now be queued for execution. That's actually a major change. So this was something that really came into the fray with Dawn Trail. Pots and food were really, food's still kind of an annoying thing. But consumables in general used to have these huge delays on them. So if you had any amount of ping, they wouldn't work. So you'd mash them and hope that they went off. And even then, you'd hope they went off soon enough so you didn't have to clip your next GCD. But at the beginning of Dawn Trail, they made it so they're instant. So it's very, very convenient. But I don't think they can be queued still. I think that they still have to be activated in that time. So this would mean that pots can now be queued, which is a really good thing. But all items can be queued for execution, which probably allows you to do some fun things with maybe some of the more cosmetic items as well. And for those who don't understand, our actions like weapon skills and spells, if you press the button before your GCD is available, or even before your OGCD is available, within a second or a second and a half, it queues them server side. So that way it's meant to eliminate the connection difference between your client and the server. So it helps minimize ping impact on things like that. So this is basically that for items, and I'm obviously thinking of combat applications. There's obviously going to be non-combat applications for that as well, because you could chain together quite a few. New enemies have been added in Central Shroud, probably in anticipation of Beastmaster. If I had to guess, a new dungeon has been added, of course, not much to say about that. NUO Normal, and then of course NUO Extreme. We do know this is 2 totems, by the way. So other than that, this is all exactly the same. Shinryu's Domain Unreal, just Shinryu's Domain is the next one. So other than that, it is Unreal, nothing item level wise changes. Necron's Wings are now going to be purchasable and should have a much higher drop rate. So, it's been 2 patches. For those wondering, the 7.4 wings will increase to the max drop rate with totems in normally 5.5, and then in 7.58, which is way down the line, is normally when the 7.5 trial, so NUO, would become available for 99 totems. That's past part 2 of the MSQ, so that's a very long ways away. There's a minor update to Doom Train's drop rate, probably going from 5% to 10%. That's normally what they do here. So still rare, still can't buy with totems, but it is more likely to drop from Doom Train. Weekly restriction for the normal mode heavyweight division has been removed, but not for the Hollow Blade. They should probably rethink that going into the next expansion. However, the number of Hollow Blades to get a weapon is now only 4. Then we have Windurst, the Third Walk, our final Echoes of Vanadil raid quest. I see something for Chaotic. I'm excited already. Players will no longer be rewarded correct Nova clusters for Sandoria. That makes sense because it's not the most recent one anymore. Chaotic. Yes, thank you. Chaotic can now be undertaken with the unrestricted party option. So, and when completing this duty with min item level enabled, the following items are now guaranteed to drop. So this is actually amazing for people who don't have a lot of gil or don't need a lot of gil. So with minimum item level enabled, basically the way that we're doing it already, It looks like both mounts, the minion, and the hairstyle are guaranteed to drop for each party. The hairstyle is like 25 million gil, but it's obviously not a lot of people get it and sell it because Chaotic's pretty much done exclusively through Discords. It's going to increase the amount of those available to everyone, which means the price should come down considerably. But if you're somebody who doesn't want to do it on min item level, you can still earn the rewards the normal way by doing the unrestricted party option. That means that when the level cap increases, and honestly, like the item level, that means that it's no longer item level capped either, I'm pretty sure, when you're unrestricted. So like even now it gets easier if you were to do it this patch. But at level like 110, if people want to form parties, they can reasonably do so. I thought it was stupid that it even like item level cap, like it didn't make any sense to me. This is actually a change I've been asking for. And that's as someone who has every single reward from Chaotic. It didn't make any sense to me that they would keep those super tight body checks without allowing you to outgear it, without allowing you to outlevel it. Very glad to see that. That's actually awesome. I think a lot more people are gonna probably take to getting those items. Items required to enhance pneumatic gear that can be purchased. Yeah, this is for upgrading. What's it called? Items required to. Yeah, this is just saying that you can buy the items with sacks of nuts and the 24-man coins. They do this every odd-numbered patch. They also show, Raid Finder, the Unmaking Extreme, and Generators Domain Unreal going in there. Hell on Rails Extreme has been moved to the Raid from the Raid Finder to the Duty Finder. Echo. Why do they keep increasing the Cruiserweight Savage Echo? Like, why do we need to be increasing that in 7.5? I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, go ahead. But it's just like, why is that like a point of something to do? Expert Roulette now mistaken the Clidium and the item level going up. Yeah, this is just all the usual changes, you know. Due to level cap dungeons, message terminal gets added, required average item level to Q goes up, Unmaking normal added to trial roulette, mentor roulette gets basically all the new normal mode, all the regular stuff, mentor item level goes up, Unmaking extreme, Stone Sky C. Following adjustments have been made to Occult Crescent. The Phantom Cannoneer support job action Shot Cannon has been changed from lightning aspected to unaspected. Interesting. I wonder if that's in anticipation of the new effects that are coming later. I'm trying to think if that has any reasonable impact now. And I can't think of it off the top of my head, but still. Phantom Knight Action Pledge now nullifies certain detrimental effects of enemy attacks in addition to the damage that would be inflicted. That's almost certainly for Fork Tower stuff. When undertaking critical encounters, enemy auto attack potency has been reduced. Yeah, probably for people who do it with low man, so future-proofing it a little bit. When undertaking certain... Oh, you know what? Pledge, I wonder if that's including the Vuln stacks. That might be including the Vuln stacks. When undertaking critical encounters, the drop rate of the following items has been increased. They finally buffed the drop rate of all the notes and the souls. So glad to see that. Conditions for determining the HP of enemies that appear have been adjusted. When engaging enemy phase, only the number of players within its bounds was factored into enemy HP. Moving forward, all players within the Fate, as well as those within 180 yalms of it, will be factored into enemy HP. However, players undertaking a critical encounter will not be counted. That last line, if I recall, it's always been that way. Number of players within its bounds was factored into enemy. So the way this is worded is still very confusing. Obviously, Fates have wildly different scaling. My understanding was it was based on the number of players that were in range of it when it was previously defeated. This doesn't appear to be working that way because it almost this to me reads as if it would increase the HP potentially because it's including people that are within 180 yalms. I think the goal of this is that players that are not yet in range of the Fate are affecting its health. So that way, when you're running to the Fate, there's a better chance of you making it because your presence was factored into its HP. So they're making them tankier for the sake of people not being able to get to Fates. So I think that seems to be the intended goal, which is a good thing. That's a major complaint. The amount of knowledge points from everything has been increased. Knowledge, Phantom, Expand, Enlightenment, silver pieces have been increased, probably again in anticipation of the next zone, and as just future-proofing in general. And rewards for completing the field operation entries in the challenge log have been increased. Yeah, those were really underwhelming. I like that they're there, but they really weren't that good, the total. When procuring crystal paste required to upgrade a Phantom, the pop-up notification will indicate the number. Well, that's good. I mean, we figure it out pretty quick because it's on the chat, but still. Following adjustments have been made to deep dungeons. Party KO count will no longer increase until players reach certain floors. Oh, okay, so this is actually quite useful. In Palace of the Dead, party KO will not count before reaching 100. So basically, let's say you were to randomly screw up and die before floor 100. In the previous iteration, you would now not be able to proceed above floor 100. Now they're only going to count if you die at floor 101 or beyond. And then, of course, for the other ones, it's above floor 30. That same rule applies. So it means that while you're learning or while you are just trying to practice soloing, you can always get a run that goes over floor 100. Data saved prior to 7.5 containing KO counts can be amended. Wow, you can even fix the old save files. That's pretty interesting. Player KO count will no longer be displayed when viewing saved data. Yeah, it's not really useful information. Saved data can no longer be accessed. Will have a different background color. Well, that's good. Yeah, a lot of little quality of life stuff here for the deep dungeons. I really like that. Waymarks can now be saved and loaded while undertaking field operations. That's very, very useful. I'm very glad to see that. Except that it does not apply to Dulibum, Reginae, and Savage, as waymarks are already supported in those duties. Okay. New items for trophy crystals for PvP. Series 10 will end and Series 11 will begin. New arena for crystalline conflict. They went over this in the live letter, so you can kind of speed through it. We don't have to talk about it too much. Pretty basic map. Has a healing glyph, has a bonus checkpoint that gives you some mobility access that's very quick to cap, but has some different cap rules. Pretty quick. Arena for, okay, so this is the new rotation. The Palestra, Volcanic Heart, Bayside, Cloud9, Clockwork, Castletown, Archaea Harmonious, and the Red Sands, and then the cycle repeats. Very, very long cycle. However, the cycle is now only every 60 minutes instead of every 90 minutes, so that's good. New rewards for Commendation Crystals. I think that's one of the old Feast sets. Is that? No, I think that's a new set. I think the Trophy Crystals probably have one of the old Feast sets, but I can't remember. These kind of ring to me, but the bony part on the right doesn't. So, yeah, I can't remember. I'm really bad at remembering the old sets because there were some a lot of demonic bird style things. There's all sorts of different animals and whatnot. Either way, pretty hardcore looking set, and I like it. So whether it's old or not, it looks good. Season 19 will end, Season 20 will begin. North America is now on Crystal. Meteor, Crystal, Chaos, and Materia for ranked PvP. Frontlines collision for objects players often get stuck on in Warcore Churte has been adjusted. That's probably going to be very nice. I haven't done any Warcore Churte yet, but that's just I don't get it in my frontline roulettes. Even when it's in cycle, and I think it's in cycle every day. I just don't get it. Rotation of available campaigns has been changed. Okay, so now Warcore Churte is on its own day. It goes Seal Rock, Fields of Glory, Onsal Hakar, Warcore, Seal Rock, Secure, Onsal, Warcore. So there's just one secure day every 8 days. They know how people feel about secure. Ratings will no longer decrease when a player is incapacitated. Interesting. Rating will no longer decrease. Are they saying the score in a match? Rating gained from knockouts and assists is now affected by the battle high status. So, okay, it's because they're adding it being affected by battle high, which means if you defeat someone with, gain from knockouts is now affected by the battle high status. Rating gained from knockouts of the opponent. Yeah, so if the opponent has more battle high, so instead of reducing score on KOs, they're just making it so you get even more score if you knock people out. So that way, if you're ahead, if you're 10 points from winning, people dying doesn't mean you will now lose 100 points. You just have to get a few more KOs, or they just have to go for high score KOs. That should make games faster, in theory. Not by much, but it should make games faster. And it's the same with the assists. So hopefully that will make games, faster. Okay, new items have been added. These are the Echoes of Vana'diel sets. We saw these during the live letter and on the special site. So new recipes. This is probably going to be from the, what is it called? From the treasure maps, most likely, maybe from a couple other locations as well. Certain items can be sold, desynthesized. Yeah, they do this every time. 2 die channels. I see Thaliot gear, Fury gear. I see Hellhound gear, Augmented Hellhound gear, Lynx Fang gear. But yeah, a lot of PvP gear in here. Mostly PvP gear in here. And then a couple of other things as well. Behemoth King, Rising Dragon. Yeah, and then a couple of other sets here at the end as well. Following adjustment to dies. This is the die consolidation. Basically, most of the dies in the game will now be consolidated into 3 items. Standard Spectrum die. It looks like it is the first one. Wide Spectrum die 1, Wide Spectrum die 2. So these are all the A Realm Reborn dies. These are the Ishgard dies, and these are whatever the other category was, dies. And then these are unconsolidated. So all these are all going to be consolidated into just 3 items. So you can basically clean up a massive amount of die inventory. These will not. So general purpose jet black, pure white, and then the other like if you were making gil off pure white dyes and whatnot, then you're still going to be able to make gil. Those aren't changing. It's really just all the bloated dyes from some previous content. Oh, cosmic. These are the cosmic ones right here. That's what it is. Yeah, so Ishgard Cosmic, and then everything else that isn't these special dyes will be consolidated for inventory purposes, and then these will remain as is. Awesome change, still make gil, still very valuable. The only thing people lose is things like the Ixal dyes. Like some people used to make gil off those. That's going to go away, and we knew this was going to happen for a couple months now. And then the dyes sold by items from vendors will, all be consolidated instead as well. Dyes originally obtained as crest rewards will be replaced with consolidated dyes. You'll no longer be able to purchase, sell, or search for pre-consolidated dyes. And then the names will be displayed when hovering the cursor over the color icon. That's very useful to me. As someone who's colorblind, a hover telling me which one it is always very, very welcome. Obviously, before it would like say which dye was required for that color. But for me, I prefer the hover over option. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the armoire. Yeah, class and job specific gear can be stored there. Gear from Dungeon 7.0 onward can be stored in the armoire. They are looking to go backwards from there. The artifact armor tab has been renamed to class job armor or gear tab. A dungeon gear tab has been added. Following these adjustments, the storage capacity gear placed in the armoire that has been accessed at least once will now appear when performing an item search. Very, very good change. And then the outfit glamours, they went over this in the previous live letter. Additional outfit glamours have been added. Hall the Novice gear, gear from 2.x instance dungeons, instance gear from 3.0 dungeons. Oh, it's certain. I just realized they didn't mention that during the live letter, the certain 2.x instance dungeons. They just left those out entirely. So yes, it's leaving a little bit more than we thought. Instance dungeon gear from 3.0 onward, all of that can be done with outfit, the consolidation ones, where you can like put a full set in, and it only takes up one slot. So you can do a lot more collecting now. And you can also take individual pieces out and put individual pieces back in. So you don't have to ever use more than the one slot for the consolidated outfit glams. Very, very good change. Following additions adjustments have been made to shops. Class and job filters have been added to a handful of vendors. That is very good. Researching Way, Old Charlian, Grinault. That's very good, because sometimes that's a little annoying to find the right things. Achievement-based items will now be displayed in certain shops, even if the applicable achievement has not yet been achieved. That's especially important for Blue Mage. Obviously, kind of funny to be talking about that now. But yeah, you basically just only know if you have a new Wallachie totem by, going there and seeing you've earned it or knowing already from looking it up online. Whereas this gives you a full list of like the ones you don't have. So I'm sure there are other items related to this here, but that's a good change overall. A new independent merchant has been added to Rolger's Reach. NPC will appear after completing the quest None Forgotten, None Forsaken. Oh, it's just an independent merchant. It just sells the usual things independent merchants do. Following additions and adjustments have been made when on standby for completing a synthesis. Yeah, this is nice. You can change job. You can eat meals and medicines. You can move items in your inventory. You can join and leave parties. You can operate link shells. And moving will not cancel standby mode. So if you ever do anything by accident while you're doing all those things, you don't have to worry about it. Now we just need that fix for like fishing. Because when you're fishing, you also can't do a lot of these things. So I wonder if they'll, obviously you don't want to change jobs during that. But I mean like being able to leave and join a party while fishing would be a really nice thing. The conditions for unlocking Society Quest recipes has been adjusted. Previously, they were unlocked after reaching a certain level. Recipes will now be unlocked upon undertaking the Society Quest and progressing to a certain point. Okay, just a clarity thing, I guess. Following additional adjustments have been made to custom deliveries. Sound effects that play have been adjusted, and a new help window is added when speaking to a custom delivery NPC or accessing their list. Okay. Crafted gear can now be upgraded to item level 780. I'll actually be doing that a decent bit this patch, most likely, because I have a lot of upgrading to do with crafted gear. Good use for my tomes, I guess, until the relic. Anyway, this is otherwise just explaining how it works, which, if you've played already, you know how it works, the exchange for the gear. All of this is the same. It's just the new items, where they are, everything. New fish. Rough. Following adjustments have been made to ocean fishing. A new route has been added. New bonuses have been added. New voyage missions have been added. I'm so afraid for the achievements, man. Please don't let there be a 10 million point achievement. Level cap for desynthesis going up. When completing expert delivery missions, the storage column will now indicate whether items eligible for submission are located in your armory chest or your inventory. Really like that. More information. Always a good thing to have. New mounts, those are the Nihility Wings from Enuo, not the finished wings. New Chocobo Barding, that is the Enuo Chocobo Barding. New minions, the goats, we saw those on the site. New face wear as well, we've got some eye coverings here for people. Graphical update, model texture. Yep, so they're doing some more texture updates for models and gear to make things look better. And these are some of the pieces. We've got some Far Eastern stuff, Bergstein stuff, dark steel buckler, Zero's order earring. Yeah, so there's a handful of things. Graphical updates have been improved for those items. There will be multiple field instances for Solution 9, Garlemald, Maryland Lamentorum, and the newly added areas in 7.5. Okay, yeah, that's all fairly normal. It means some more S ranks, which, I'll definitely be paying attention to that this time around. Specifically, Endwalker stuff. A lot of Endwalker related locations. Makes sense. We saw them all in the trailer. Following addition adjustments have been made to achievements. New achievements and titles. Don't add the ocean fishing one. No 10 million points, please. Certain duties trials now count towards the completion of achievements. This is normal. All the tank achievements getting the new Unreal and Extreme, and then all the new basic stuff and the Unreal and the Extreme being added to the generic tank stuff. Following additional adjustments have been made to the Party Finder. A balanced party option has been added to the Party Finder screen for 8-player duties. What does that do? A balanced party option. It will set the rules to the following: 2 tanks, 1 pure, 1 barrier, 2 melee, 1 phase range, 1 magic. I actually don't like this option because double magic, I understand double phase range is a really a lot of people don't want to do that. But double magic is a fairly normal thing. And I feel like putting this in there, I feel like more people are just going to adopt double melee when double caster is perfectly fine. Pure barrier I also get, but there is room for Scholar Sage. I guess the people who know those things will set it up that way anyway. But I don't like the further enforcement of the double melee thing. And I don't like them suggesting it in a sense, but I get it. It is the standard, and a lot of people have accepted it as a standard. I just think double magic ranged is really useful, and I don't want people to think that the devs don't think it is by having this option in there, personally. It's not possible to select more than one purpose when performing an advanced search. That's good. To refine your search, a text filter in the comment section has been implemented. That's another really good thing. Areas in which character display range setting is active have been added. Eureka, Bosia, Zadnor, all the exploration areas. And Leap of Faith, which is probably a good place to have it. Island Sanctuary is a little surprising. Following additions have been made to retainers, new ventures, new items, new portrait accents, new poses. That's so good. New adventure plate accents have been added. That's very good. The dancing green one is so, so good. And Shantoto's horrifying, but still good. All right, so you got those as well. Additions have been made to a group pose, new stickers, a portrait mode has been added to the top menu of the group pose setting. Oh, that's nice. Toggle control guide on and off. Let me move this back over. I keep drifting it while I'm scrolling. Soft focus feature has been added. I don't remember what that does, but that's because I'm not much of a picture person. Eye settings have been added. Eyelid tracking intensity. I mean, I don't take this as seriously as you G-posers out there, so I'll let you have your opinions about it, because I don't feel like I can have one. And the patch logo frame added 7.5. The arc angle perimeter for fan AoE and donut objects and the strategy board has been adjusted from increasing to decreasing increments of 5. So yeah, it's more customizable. That's very good. In anticipation of limited job Beastmaster's release, the Beastmaster category has been added to various UI screens. The configuration sharing feature has been implemented. This feature allows you to upload your hotbar and configuration settings of your currently logged in character to the server as temporary save data. Be able to download I thought you were able to do this already. Am I misunderstanding? Oh, your settings can be shared with friends or applied to a character on a different account, such as a pre-made character used at a convention. What? Wait, so you're doing this, but FanFest is before this change. I mean, NA is. Obviously, the other regions will have it, but still. Interesting. The following may be saved. So yeah, it just allows you to really, really share it. So if your friend's like, oh dude, what are your hotbar settings like? There is a way to do it before, but now with it officially being on the server, it makes it better for console players in particular. And it's just better to have it built in instead of the whole folder dragging thing that we were doing before. And then it's explaining how it works. Log into the character whose configuration you wish to upload, select upload settings, and then a 16-character share code will be added. How come I get a 16-character share code and my raid data thing is like a dissertation about before I can share my raid board code? And then the other person just puts the code in, or you bring your own code to something like a convention, and bam, you've got your data. That's actually really cool. I like that. Check the configuration data's upload date, time, and comment. If there are no issues, select the settings that you want to save and the ones you don't want to save with the tick bar. You can also delete shared data by opening the Confirm Shared Data menu or accessing the companion app. And then delete shared data is in the bottom left. Unusable gear sets or macros, an icon will display when a hotbar includes a gear set or macro that does not exist and cannot be equipped after being shared with the character. Interesting. That's a cool setting. I like that. We have clear gray and clear pink settings. We did see these during the live letter. Following options have been added to system configurations. That's the character display. UI assets for the Xbox Series S version have been adjusted to higher resolution. /cackle emote, /conduct emote. That we saw those above. Additions have been made to auto-translation. Additions have been made to the console, autocomplete dictionaries, new trophies, new achievements, new music, sound effects, voices, everything. And the layout of the game launcher has changed. Well, that is going to be a wrap for the patch 7.5 patch notes. A couple surprises in there still. There usually are. There's usually a few things we're not expecting to pop up in there. But overall, the majority of the things that we're curious about for the patch obviously aren't in 7.5 proper. It's very standard, very run-of-the-mill. If you're someone who's big into fishing, obviously it's huge with the extra big fish, with the ocean fishing route, with the ocean fishing achievements, and of course going through part 1 of the story, seeing where we're going next, which we'll have more information on that even later today. So I'm excited to see what is in store for the future. With that, I'm going to get this uploaded, and then I am going to get over to the convention. I'll be recording my keynote video later in this afternoon, and I'll be recording a video on the dev panel as well. But with that, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, stay up to date with all the latest with Final Fantasy XIV, and of course we have patch 7.5 on Tuesday, so expect some videos on that as well. With that, I will see all of you in the next video, and until then,